Goa Thakurta from Edu TV. Today, we have got famous principals of India, and we would like to request them to advise the student because they are not sure when are the exams going to happen or not, whatever it is, and they are waiting for 4th of May the exam to be started by CBSE. I'm talking about class 12. So we would like to have how should they cope with the stress and anxiety right now? I would request Mr. Jha to start with. He's from the Chaitram North Campus School, Indore, and also the Sahoday head of Indore. Jha Saab.
Very good afternoon to everyone. As the CBSE has postponed and it is still uncertain whether the examination is going to happen or it is not going to happen, what would be the situation when it is going to be reviewed on 1st of June? Because as the number of cases are rising, we are also quite uncertain whether it is going to be reduced in coming days or still it is going to rise. So still there is 1.5 months before the CBSE is going to take up a decision what has to be done for class 12th board examination. But it is really anxious, the children would be really anxious about it, whether it is going to happen or it is not going to happen, and how to continue with their studies. Because now class 12th new session has started, teachers are taking their online classes, they are engaged, and we started their remedial classes and suddenly we have stopped it because we are not certain about their examination also. Those who are continuing with their studies, those who have done well, for them, I don't think there would be any problem. But those who are struggling even because their practicals are also pending in few schools and they have not yet done their practical and suddenly the lockdown happened and we could not have their practicals also. So a lot of uncertainty is there. So we would like to suggest the children that they should not look into these matters. They should not see what is happening regarding the COVID cases. They take their precautions and continue their studies, keep themselves safe and isolated, keep them isolated also at home. They should not move out, keeping in mind that the examinations have been postponed. So they continue their studies and they should talk to each other and create positivity amongst all of them. And they must talk to the teachers also wherever they're stuck and take their guidance also whenever they require and continue their studies. And because they are also quite uncertain about their future planning, which college they are going to take up for future courses. And even they are not sure about the NEET as well as the JEE, the another chance of appearing in. So a lot of uncertainty is there, but even though they have got enough time because online studies they were struggling with, so they have another 1.5 months with them and to prepare well, to do well in the board examination, and that would definitely help them to get the admission in higher examination undergraduate programs. So this is my say to the children.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ms. Aradhana, I'm talking about the middle class and lower middle class parents who thought their students, their kids, their wards, they'll get in some good professional college, maybe engineering, medical. Now they are also not aware. They also even will these kind of careers will be available after 4 years or not? People are not even aware of that also. So I would like to request you to advise your advice to the parents, ma'am.
You see, first of all, it's not advice only to the parents, it's people in general. I mean, I firmly believe that, we take life as a syllabus-based thing. And that is why we take education as within the syllabus. We lead our lives within confines, which is not true. So I think this period is a big, big lesson on many things that, our mindsets that we have to change. So when we think of life as a straight jacketed thing, we go with blinkers on, we expect, certain things to happen. When they don't happen, then we get nervous, we get anxious. So all this anxiety comes from the fact that students have the mindset is all geared towards the exams. The parents have a even more conservative mindset. Half the times they don't know what is available in the world. And the other half, they are so busy, sort of gearing their students to a certain path. So probably all the expectations have gone, haywire, all their plans have gone haywire. So they are very anxious. So I think if we treat this time as a lesson in changing our mindsets, in being more open-minded, in changing as times change, it'll do all of us a lot of good. And I tell my students also, and I've just recently in the morning, I had a session with parents. So with parents also, I keep telling them, I said, see, it is you who have laid down this path. You who have sort of put your mindsets, my daughter or son will go into these colleges and do this. Who says life is the same? Life is going to change. At every turn, life is going to change. So nobody knows what the professions are going to do well after 4 years. So what you have to do is logically think. Now, which are the professions which will survive pandemic times and later? So it's a lot of logic that goes into it. So it's for them to now rethink on what they were thinking and find out. And the basic thing is knowledge about this. There is so much available these days. I treat this whole period of 1 year and now plus as a huge opportunity for us to imbibe so much that we would not have imbibed. Look at the amount of knowledge, amount of technology that is there for all of us and free. Everybody is, lining up to give you everything free. So many career counseling, people, hardly anybody that there's no audience for them. I have, personally directed the parents to go and sit in these webinars so that the horizons widen. Nobody goes and sits because, they feel that whatever their mindset is, then anxious. What is there to get anxious? Life has to change. So if they educate themselves, if they attend these things, if they have broader horizons, they will think of alternatives. Life is not stopping. And these are just 2 years of your life. It's going to carry on for the next 40, 50 years. So for parents, instead of transferring their anxiety to children are immature. Children still have to go through life. So it is us teachers and parents who have to placate them. So what are we doing? We all saying, oh, pandemic, what will they do? What will they do? Well, the students have suffered. What have they suffered? Their exams were supposed to happen in March. Okay, so they didn't happen in March. They will happen in June, July. Maybe they will not happen. So what? It's not the end of life. They have a lifetime to live. So we have to prepare them. This is only a part of your life. So whatever you're going through, it's a wonderful experience. I mean, they are so lucky, not in that sense, not having COVID, but to go through a situation none of us have ever seen, will ever see. So now they will learn to adapt to situations which are grim. Life is going to be like that. So I think they'll just come out stronger. They just maintain that positive attitude. For parents also, the only thing to do is not to get stressed so that they don't stress the children at all, and just be knowledgeable. Go and just grab whatever knowledge there is to grab, and then widen your own horizons.
I think good, very good. Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful input. Ashna ma'am, I would like to come to you. As generally students, they talk to the teachers. They don't come to the principal and tell about the anxiety or stress. What is your message? We were discussing the morning also with Mr. Jha also. Like majority of the teachers, they are ladies. So when they work from home, they have to do their household work also. Then they have to take the class also. Then address the anxiety of the students, parents also. What is your advice to the teachers and counselors during these tough times, ma'am?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Pranav. See, the anxiety, no doubt, is building up. And it is basically because of the uncertainty which is there among the students as well as the parents. And it is not only the parents and the students, the teachers too. And most of the teachers are parents too.
Correct.
So, the anxiety is definitely there because we do not know that what is going to be, in next 2 months, what is going to happen. the way the cases are increasing. So, and then this, the second wave is almost touching now every house, every door. It is like that. You know, there are students who are, who have been tested positive, the parents also now. So already they are going through a lot of mental trauma.
Correct.
And for such parents, especially those who have already gone through this trauma, for them now to send the students to the school is going to be a big challenge, definitely. But like what you asked me, that what is the message to the teachers as well as the parents and the students, is that you're right that every child is not able to connect to the principal, but then probably this online has really done a good thing, that we've been able to connect with everybody and anybody, you know. So communication is most important right now, and that is what I keep advising the students, parents, as well as the teachers. So my counselor, my teachers, they are in constant touch with the children. They've created the group and they keep taking the sessions of the students, and then they keep talking to them, keep asking them, finding out that what kind of problems they are facing. And sometimes the trouble is not with the subject. The trouble is, you know, because they are not able, they're not allowed to move out. And most of the times what the parents are doing is that they want the children to just keep the book open all the time and should be studying, which is practically not possible. And as it is, children have spent so much of time, they were studying online because they were somewhere, somehow they were aware that this time it's a board class, so they were taking it seriously. Initially they took some time, but then slowly and gradually they came into that mode of studying, and they started studying. Then we took online exams, we took then physical exams when we were given the permission here in Delhi. And children, we found that in the pre-boards, children are very well prepared. Now the same topic again and again, children say that, ma'am, how many times do we study? You know, that is what our parents need to understand. So I advise the parents. I keep taking, like what Aradhana ma'am said, even we keep taking sessions with the parents, because it is very important for us to make them also understand that the pressure is which they are trying to build up by saying that study is now going to go, may take a U-turn, and maybe the child, you know, may get more confused, and because stress may create, you know, any kind of a confusion in the mind of the child. So communication is a must. My counselor is in constant touch with the children. Teachers keep interacting with the children so that even if there is a doubt related to the subject, they immediately clear it. And my advice to all other teachers as well as the parents, that please do not create unnecessary fear and anxiety in the house, because we are all the time saying that stay positive, stay positive. And whereas, you know, these students who are going to be appearing for class 12th board, there, you know, if you happen to go to their house, you can sense it, that there is some kind of a aura which is not very positive. So that parents have to understand that yes, it's the situation is such, you know, like Aradhana ma'am very rightly said, that it is not the end. It is not the end. You know, there are much better things which are waiting for these children, for the parents, for everybody. So we have to be very hopeful. We have to be very positive. And if we are, you know, having that kind of a mindset, then only it is going to percolate down, because whatever, you know, parents are thinking, automatically it has a cascading effect on the minds of the students. So teachers definitely, because we motivated them, and they are in fact, you know, this time teachers are much better prepared to go through the online classes, and they know that how they have to handle the students. So as far as teachers are concerned, they are well prepared. To some degree, I'll say students also are very well prepared this time. Only thing is that parents have to understand that fine, they're spending most of their times in the house, but then that doesn't mean that the book should remain open. Children also should be given some time so that they can broaden their horizon, as well as they can relieve themselves from the stress, the anxiety, the fear which has been created by this pandemic. So this is what is my, you know, advice.
Wonderful.
Teachers.
I think you explained it very nicely, ma'am. Now
I'm also in constant touch with the
parents
students online, obviously.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Now I'll request Madam Rupali from Trinity School. Ma'am, can you put on your camera? Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Rupali ma'am, as like in new education policies also, a lot of things have been written about mental health. During these times when the students are at home and they are unable to go to the parks or play, no outdoor activities are there. So what is your suggestion? What is your advice? How they can handle this stress?
Let's think of exams as not being a stressful thing. So because we make such a big hue and cry of exam,
Right.
that is somewhere, percolating down, and that is causing the stress. So exam is just one small component of the year. So let's not focus it. And because we talk so much about it, it has an unsaid pressure on the children automatically. So let us, be a little easy about it, and let us understand that, yes, it can happen. And we need to believe in ourselves and our children that when the time will come and when the time is right, they will do what is correct. So I think right now, instead of, it should have been done, now children were prepared. I understand they were prepared, and, it is an anxiety for them. And then now again, so much uncertainty causes that. It is up to us to actually get down to them and tell them that there is no stress at all. You can get up to things that you still like, continue with your normal life. In between, stay in touch with the subject and the studies that you're doing. So let's not make it really big that boards are coming now, you leave everything, stop watching this, stop watching that, stop this, that. Let's not do that. Let's make it a normal routine. Let's make children more comfortable, and let us not be stressed first, so that we don't pass it on to our children.
Wonderful. Dr. Deepika is the principal of Grand Columbus International School, Faridabad. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you for
Deepika,
having me, Pranav.
Yeah, no. Thanks to you, ma'am, for taking out time. Thanks all the principals. Dr. Deepika, we were just talking about like the students are at home, they are unable to go out, play, or no physical exercises, nothing is being done. So I'm not talking about the exams only. Fine. What is your suggestion to the students so they can be more stress-free? On exam, I think other speakers have already spoken.
Yeah, so in the times of uncertainty, one thing is for certain, that their health comes first.
Right.
So whether it's a mental health or physical health, they need to take care of it. I think they need to have some kind of a physical activity for an hour, 40 minutes or so. And for keeping it, I think they need to be in touch with their teachers, their peers. They need to carry on with whatever routine they were, and move in the same way that they were, like we were all prepared to sit in for exams in May. I think we probably would have it 15th June or July or whenever, but they need to keep the momentum on in terms of have a proper routine for their work and play. A balance needs to be struck here. They can't just leave it and be stressed later. So I guess they have to be in touch with their teachers and their peers for doing whatever they have, and get into some kind of other activity, like I said, a physical activity. If they can get into some kind of pranayama, asanas or something, that's fantastic. If the school can do something online for them, that would be great. We're doing
Wonderful.
that actually. Every morning for 15 minutes, we have a Zoom session for them, online session for them. But then I think that needs to be carried on, because anxiety does set in, especially for students who've been working hard for last 14 months. It is a little more difficult for them, for the others, So they take it more challenge. It's more challenging for them, because I think a whole lot of students have been getting in touch with us and saying that it would have been better had they appeared for it in May itself.
Great. Jhasa, I would like to come to you. As the students in 11th and 12th, they're passing through their adolescence age also, and they're unable to meet their friends. They can't speak to them. And we have recently seen there are some suicide cases also there. They are students are unable to open up to their parents. So, what is your suggestion to the students?
See, they have to understand the problems, what they are having right now. And I am sure because of the uncertainty and because of not going to the school for a long time, they were isolated at home and they were not able to meet the friends physically, but they were in constant touch with each other. Because whenever we had a session with them, we used to discuss about it, and we came to know that they were talking with each other and discussing a lot about their future, and as well as their preparation for the examination, and what is to be done and what has not to be done. That already they were discussing about. Only thing is they were not meeting physically with each other. But every child has to face this age when they have to pass on, and they have understood what is good for them, what is bad for them, and that we also talk about several times to them. They were with us physically also till class 10th and 11th also. We were talking to them, and what precautions have to be taken, and what is to be discussed, what not to be discussed, what kind of a care teacher has to give to them. So everything is known to the children. It is nothing which is a new thing which we have to tell them, and we should be careful about it. Only thing is, because being isolated, they are very, very anxious about their future, and they don't understand what is going to happen. And because they are worried about their future career also, and what is going to happen, what about after even their undergraduate programs, what would be the job opportunities for them, what kind of jobs would be there in future, because it is also very uncertain. So what career they have to adopt, what kind of courses they have to join. Now the things are totally changed. And as we are talking about new education policy, the reforms in examination, I think the time has come to go for this reform in examination. This is not only one examination which the NEP is suggesting. They're talking about the 360-degree assessment of a child, and that would be the future of the assessment. So having only one examination at the end of the year is not at all good for anybody to understand a child well.
Correct.
So keeping that also in mind, I think this is the right time to get the reform in our examination system. And as class 10th examination that has been cancelled, and board is talking about some assessment process to prepare their results. So they are going to come up with some online solution of assessment, how they are going to judge those children. And if they won't be satisfied with the board assessment, which they are going to plan, they can go for physical examination when the things would be normal. So this is also a kind of new assessment process which the board is thinking about. And we are all waiting that how beautifully they are going to design the assessment process for 10th also, to understand their level, so that those who are very good in studies, they should not have that kind of a feeling that everybody is promoted, and we were good as compared to others, but now everybody scored the same marks. So that should not be there, because the children, those who were serious since beginning, they were preparing very hard. Even in online, they were doing quite well. And now suddenly everybody would be promoted with a similar kind of percentage, that would definitely dishearten them. So the board is planning to have such kind of a beautiful assessment process to rate them where they stand. So, and I'm sure they will come up with a beautiful assessment process also. So,
wonderful. Great, sir. Great, sir. Thank you so much. The assessment is very important. So I'd like to come to Archana ma'am. Ma'am, a very different kind of problem a lot of parents are facing, like their kids who joined last year in nursery, those kids have never seen the school, and we are teaching them online now. So I come a lot of parents, जैसा समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या करें हम लोग, कि पहले स्कूल भी से लगाया ताकि थोड़ा उनको रिलैक्स हो जाए, Now they are at home, their mother has to sit with a daughter or son, or father has to sit with them. What is your message to these parents, ma'am?
You know what I have realized, just recently I took the orientation for the new nursery parents as well as the old ones. And what I have been always saying is that these are children of the digital world. I call them
Right.
digital, you know. So parents, underestimate them. First, at the age of 1 and 2, they hand over the mobiles to them.
Correct.
And then they say that how these children are going to sit in front of the laptop.
Laptop.
Yeah, and then attend the online classes. To my surprise, what I observed last year also, and what I'm observing this year, that these children are in fact beautifully sitting in front of the laptop and managing the classes so well, so my message, what I told the children, I said, don't underestimate. Yes, definitely initially you would be required to sit for some time with the children, but then slowly and gradually they will learn to sit, and which they have agreed and understood also, that it just takes time. See, what anxiety, fear, whatever you may call it, you cannot eliminate it. We must learn to manage it. That is more important, and that is what has been told to the children, that you make the child, so independent that the child is able to manage it. So, and then teachers, they are coming out with such innovative and creative ideas, the way they motivate, the kind of story sessions and puppets and so many things they bring in during the online classes to
Yes.
make it so very effective and interesting that children are finding it very, very good. And they are also, and the learning is going on. There is no learning gap, which I can see, in my last year students, or maybe this year students who have just recently started sitting in front of the laptop to go through the online classes. So my message to the parents would be that they must, monitor the child, but should not make the child so very dependent that for every small little thing, the child has to ask the parent. And also a message, very strong message, which I would like to give to the parents, that when the classes are going on, not to interfere, because that is again something very important, because we cannot undermine the respect of the teacher who's teaching at that particular moment, because she knows how to handle and manage the children. Maybe sometimes she may, for some reason she might have ignored a particular child, but it doesn't mean that you will just interfere and then start saying something to the teacher. So all these kind of things I have been telling the parents, and the parents also, more or less, what I see this year, are also kind of, they're well prepared, that they don't now have to sit through and through with the children, and students are able to manage, so
Wonderful.
it is
Excellent.
basically to create a balance, nothing else, and that is what we need to teach everybody around us, that we have to know that how we can create, the day we learn to create a balance and manage things, whether it is anxiety, fear, or maybe sitting in front of the online classes, even the screen time, initially so much of issue had come up.
Yes.
Screen time, screen time, screen time. And then again, I took a session with the parents. I say, you do the introspection, do self-analysis, and see it for yourself, that how many for how many hours the teachers are taking the online classes, and then for how many hours your own child is sitting in front of the screen. You got to, do that comparison. And they understood that where it is nothing, that nothing is wrong with the online classes. The way teachers rose up to this occasion, and they managed the classes initially without having any kind of knowledge themselves. They stood, for the parents only, for the students, to remove that learning gap. And it's going on very well, very well. Not that I'm saying that face-to-face teaching, can take place of online classes. No, never. That will always have its own, is going to have its own value. We cannot remove that. But at the same time, seeing the present condition, I think it's going on very nicely, and parents also should understand and should give that kind of a respect to the teacher as well as to the students, because in
Right.
the senior classes especially, what I see that the respect of the feelings is not there. We need to respect the feelings of the senior student, even the junior students. We need to respect as a parent. The day we understand that how we have to respect the feelings, most of the problems which are now these days coming up because of especially this mental trauma and all these kind of things children are facing, they will stop facing, because somewhere there is a communication gap which they need to they have to bridge it. That is what is my message to all the
I
parents.
think, thank you. I think you explained it very nicely. I think this question or advice will be for everyone out here. You can start with Deepika. Deepika, there's a big digital divide in our country. A lot of parents don't have 2 3 machines. They have 2 3 children. They're unable to study, or the father takes the what do you call smartphones along with them. So if you travel 50 60 kilometers from Delhi, like out here, I think all of them are from privileged schools and very good cities. But when we travel from here to some rural areas, internet connectivity is bad. They don't have so many machines with them. How they can, ma'am, cope with this, ma'am? Deepika, can you take this question?
So, this question has been there for the last one session all through the pandemic. Uh, yes, the digital divide is there. Yes, we are not 100% equipped to manage it. So, a lot of schools would have different timings, including myself. Because we did have a few parents, again, requesting the ones who have two siblings or more,
Correct.
uh, you know, they did not have, but then I think by now, most of them are equipped as far as Delhi NCR is concerned. I
Yes,
think
yes.
you're right, they would be equipped. But yes, going down into the interiors, it would not be there. You need to have separate timings if that is possible. And if not, then, well, you have to wait till the offline starts. A lot of government schools themselves in the interiors cannot cater or provide for it.
Correct.
So, yeah, so I think somewhere again, like if the government is trying to have new assessment system, which I would really feel happy about, the same way I would feel that somewhere the government needs to provide for everybody who's there in the interiors as well. You know, that divide still stands. Of course, we've sort of rebooted system of education, and I would say, let's say not even 50 kilometers. Again, you go interiors, most of the India lives there, you
Correct.
know. So yes, that would be a problem. Offline is the only solution at the moment, and if they're at home, it does not go with them. So the ones who do have the online classes are the privileged ones, and still fewer in number.
Uh, Aradhana, can you advise on the same?
What she's saying is very true. It's more very practical kind of problem, which it's very difficult to address. But what we can do is we can have. There are a lot of upper middle class families who change their gadgets so many times, and we could ask for these gadget donations. And the second-hand market is really flourishing in this. So frankly, a lot of people are buying second-hand gadgets which are very cheap. Recently, like my maid, got a mobile phone for her son for online classes for a bare 1,000 or 1,500. So these kind of things can be set up, and especially the schools where we have very well-off clientele, we could appeal to their community sense and ask them to donate some gadgets, things that you're not using. There are many gadgets that we don't use. We probably change our gadgets every 6 months, 1 year. So what are we doing with them? And they become obsolete very soon. So these kind of things, and I'm sure, Pranav, the way things are, very soon you'll have companies coming up with these cheaper gadgets which you don't need a mobile phone as such. So which will have Wi-Fi systems inbuilt and will become very cheap. So you see, anything like this becomes an opportunity. This has become an opportunity for innovation. I'm sure as we are talking, many startups are working on this to equip the whole country with gadgets. And I think ultimately, if you look at it from a long range point of view, it's going to be a wonderful thing. Because, we talk of villages. Where were villages getting all this great education even before? You saw the condition of those village schools. I mean, what were they doing offline that they're not doing online? They're still online. They have access to great videos. Actually, if you want to, there is so much material videos available. You can learn on your own. A lot of self-learning can take place. And people who want to are doing it. It's only, when we sit and say, okay, ye nahi mil raha, when you find excuses, then any number of excuses, even people well off would have excuses. So let's not look at that, and gradually look at it, from 10 years, 15 years point of view. In 10, 15 years, these same students whom we are criticizing for being anxious, or, they're not studying, a lot of them are, listening to music while the class is on, all that is happening. Look at them, 10 years later. They will have to become responsible. They will have to know self-learning. There is no way out. You only do things when there's no way out. So that is where innovation takes place. And that is where all the gadgets are also coming. It's a difficult period for a couple of years more, but very optimistic. You see India in the next 5 years. And thanks to this situation, we would have risen above. Look at the teachers how well. I agree 100% with Archana. The way teachers have risen, could we imagine our teachers doing this? So because the need was there, I mean, we were fed up of training the teachers to go into hybrid learning, all these methods we knew before. There was no way they would go into it. Our assessment will have to change. We've been talking of open book tests since the time I was in college.
Right.
Never done anything about it. Now they will have to come. So you see, this has forced us into some innovation and some great techniques. That is why, we should educate the students and parents about the positive aspects of this time. They'll have us, I think India will really, really rise above all this in the next 5 years.
Uttam sir, thank you so much, Aradhana ma'am. Uttam sir, I think most important thing I'm hearing from all the principals, teachers, the students should now learn to learn, and self-learning should be there. So what is your advice on that? How that can be imbibed?
Yeah, the time has come when the children have to learn on their own, because the most of the materials are available, and they are used to of this digital world, and they always go for searching whenever something is being asked. So they're daily using the Google Baba is always helping them out. So they're learning on their own, and wherever they stuck, they ask the teachers to further explain it. So now things are coming up the way we teachers also ask them to prepare the topic on their own, and then they have to come up with the problems they found in learning. So that is what they are doing in this online process. We ask the students also to teach certain topics in the class rather than the teacher has to teach. So we judge them how they are learning on their own, and wherever they find some problem, the teachers are helping them out. So we are testing on that ground. We are preparing the children for self-learning, and that is very, very necessary, because unless the whole reform would be there in the education system also. And everybody has to adopt this new change in the scenario, that we have to learn everything on our own. And they are using the internet as well as other resources for their learning. So I'm sure the things would definitely change, and the children would be independent of their own learning.
Wonderful. I think there was very good insight about it. Dr. Deepika, just one liner for the students.
Keep your head and spirits high. And these are the times which will, like everything else, this will come to an end. And go on with your routine, like I say. And stay happy and stay on track. Things will come on to a better end.
Archana, one liner for students.
Students need to stay hopeful, because after the night, the sun always rises. So the bright and the good days are waiting for each one of us and for our students too.
Wonderful. Aradhana, one liner for students.
Yeah. Okay, now for students, I just want to tell them that there is a huge, big life ahead. This is not the end. So nothing is a waste. When they say waste ho gayi padhai, I really feel very bad. No padhai is waste. All this will stand them in good stead as this go ahead, because each one is a step in the ladder. If they can't skip a step, so this step will lead to the next step. It doesn't matter exams or not, but they will all come through it alive, well, and successful.
Mr. Uttam Jha, one-liner.
Yeah, they have to be positive, and they must say that I am okay, everything would be okay.
Great. Anyone else want to add something to this? Koi share where kuch? That day we had a principal's conference. It became a mushaira.
So we can do a bit of poetry from Percy V. Shelley, who says,
Okay.
if winter comes, can spring be far behind?
Yes, yes.
Good one. Thank you so much. Yes. Aradhana was saying something.
I said they're great quotes about
Yes.
this positivity. I wish we would imbibe them into our lives.
No, I really agree with Archana. It's about managing things.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aradhana Rana, Ms. Archana Narayan, Mr. Uttam Kumar Jha, and Dr. Deepika Sharma. Thank you so much. I'm sure this will help parents, students, teachers, and all other stakeholders of education. Thank you so much.
One
Thank
line.
you. Bye, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Pranav.
Pranav,
Bye.
one share, I have just now.
Okay, ठीक है.
Quickly.
Irshad.
Yeah. खुद से जीतने की जिद है मुझे, खुद को ही हराना है. खुद से जीतने की जिद है मुझे, खुद को ही हराना है. मैं भीड़ नहीं हूँ दुनिया की, मेरे अंदर एक जमाना है.
Wow.
Very good, very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Everything lies within us. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Wonderful. Thank you.